how's work?
What the hell is he doing here? Why are you dressed like this in front of him?
What do you mean? You know he's my bestie.
Yeah, we're just besties, bro.
Cover yourself up.
Babe, stop. Come on, you know he's my friend.
There's no such thing as a guy bestie that doesn't want to get with a girl, especially when she's dressed like this.
Oh my God, wait.
Man, why couldn't you just go into a coma? You're waiting 4 years for your ass to die.
What the fuck did you just say?
Okay, guys, calm down. How about we watch a movie?
Damn, she's looking sexy. You need to be watching this movie alone.
You didn't hear what the fuck he just said? Did you hear what he said? I told you he wants you.
Babe, what are you talking about? I think you hit your hair a little too hard.
Damn, if he ain't come home, I was gonna make my move for sure this time.
Yo, that's it.
What?
Damn, baby, you okay?
Dumbass little boy. Thank God it was her face and not her ass, though.
No more guy friends.
That's Brian Breach right there. This man is funny guy. Welcome back to a Guy Think Podcast live experience. It's Monday. The coronavirus continues. The quarantine continues. It's nonstop. And I'm hoping it comes to an end very soon. Although I am enjoying the fact that I am working from home, so I am accomplishing quite a bit. And hopefully everybody else is too. And I hope everybody's doing good. And for all those people that lost their jobs, man, I'll be happy to help any way I can. You know, I'm going to be actually helping some businesses out tonight on the podcast. I'm going to be scrolling some banners across the screen for every business that reached out to me. The first 5 that reached out to me, I'm going to be scrolling their information across the screen just to let everybody know they're still open and, you know, they're open for business. They want to help you out. So do me a favor, guys. Follow at A Guy Think Podcast. Subscribe, of course. That helps me grow the show. And also drop comments. Drop lots of them because we're going to have some fun tonight. Brian Breach, great guy. He's been viral. He's been on TED Talk. He's been all over the news. The guy is just one cool, super nice dude. And he does a lot of really funny videos. So I'm going to bring Brian up right now. Brian.
Yo, thank you for that intro, man. I appreciate it. That was really dope.
My pleasure, bro. You know, I've seen quite a few of your videos, man. They're so funny. That's why I wanted to feature that one today that I posted with when you were acting like the guy from Alabama. Yo, I watched that thing like 20 times and I was cracking up, man.
God damn it. Fucking Patterson.
Dude, what made you think of doing that one?
So what made me think of doing that is that when I put up a billboard over 95 with my face on a basically a naked guy's body, we were trying to contemplate ways to continue the buzz of the billboard instead of just putting up a billboard and letting that be it. So what we did was we came up with the idea of protesting my own billboard. And so once the billboard went up, I had gotten this crazy ass character talking shit about the billboard. And then there was a bunch of protesters. So I went out there with a beer. I'm like, man, fuck this guy, Brian Breach. He sold this. What a piece of shit. Y'all need to take this billboard down. And once I did that and I posted it, I got like shit tons of messages asking to play that character again. They're like, yo, you need to continue on, do that character. So I was like, what can I name this guy? So I thought of Patrick Patty Patterson because it sounds so stupid. And I went out and did some more stuff. And then when the Tiger King thing came out, I felt like I was playing Patrick Patty Patterson all over again because it's almost like the same damn character.
That Tiger King. Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing, unfortunately. Yeah.
Wow. I can't get those minutes of my life back, but I will tell you for the amount of time that I did watch it, it was very entertaining.
It's very entertaining. And it's funny because I watched it a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever. And I just posted a status like 30 minutes ago that when I watch shows, I like to get something out of it. It can't just be for entertainment for me. I don't watch horror movies. I don't get anything positive from it. But what I did get from it was, if you look at Carol Baskin and Joe, all they did was focus on one another. Now both their lives are pretty much fucked. Yeah. What I got out of it was focus on your own shit. Focus on your own goals. Focus on your own life, and you'll progress further. They focus on each other. One's in jail, and the other one's the most hated woman on planet Earth. So if I have to take something from it, that's what I'm going to take from it.
Yeah. I will tell you, I mean, Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin.
That bitch is responsible for the Rona. She's responsible for AIDS, HIV, cancer, everything.
Well, Carol Baskin, you bet your damn ass I'm gonna put a bullet in her ass. Oh, dude.
Bullet right in her ass, right between her coochie.
I will tell you, man. I was cracking the memes, by the way. Last week's memes on this Tiger King
Bro,
were fucking epic, man.
it has gave me content for at least 2 weeks.
Oh, 100%. Easy content.
Easy. Oh, so easy. Everything. I mean, I'm literally going on Instagram and anything anyone posts, I'm like, Carol Baskin did it. And I get like 1,000.
Bro, I will tell you, it was a great. I mean, I don't think Netflix obviously planned it, but what perfect timing with this quarantine going on to have a show like that. Now, I want to ask you because you've been viral a couple of times. You know the deal. You know how this thing works. Like, if there wasn't a quarantine, would Joe Exotic Tiger King have blown up the way it did?
So, man, that brings me back to the one of my social experiments that really went viral, and it hit the news super hard. And I was trying to contemplate why it went viral, and one of the reasons was the news cycle happened to be slow that day. So if you apply the same semantics to Tiger King, I think the quarantine definitely helped it a bit. Could it have gone viral on its own? It's so batshit crazy that I think it had a possibility, but the quarantine gave it that nice little nudge, Yeah. So it's really hard to say. But it's a good possibility.
Yeah. So it's like everybody's binge watching now, like what else is there to do with the
Right.
time, which, I wanted to ask you too, because, well, first of all, how did you, I've seen you, obviously you've been on TED Talk, and you told a really good story, your story. But what happened? Like, when was the first time you went viral?
The first time, so it was like a process, and it's funny because after I went viral, I never thought in 1,000 years that they would be asking me to speak around the country on going viral. That's like the absolute last thing that I thought was going to happen. Yeah. So the first thing that I did that went viral, oh, that was the question, right? The first thing I did that went viral?
Yeah.
It was a social experiment where I dressed up as a homeless guy, and I had a sign. I was standing in front of Target during Christmas, and it said, "I'm homeless. Please help my family for the holidays." And anybody that offered me money that was kind enough to give me $1 or offer me food, as they were walking away, I stopped them, and I'm like, "Hey, just because you're such a nice person and you're so giving, I want to give you $100 bill in return." And they're like, "What the fuck? Why is a homeless guy giving me $100?" I ended up passing out about $500, and I got some amazing responses. I had one guy that was crying. He said he was gonna pay it forward and do something positive with $100. Another guy had his son with him and told me it was like an amazingly teachable moment for his son. That's cool. And then Channel 7 picked it up, and then the next 5 days was just like mayhem. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, NBC, Yahoo, every major news station across the country picked it up. I was getting messages from Russia, Greece, Hawaii, and I'm really happy that was the one that went viral, because it was like it was the most positive one that I've done. It had a meaning and a message. It wasn't just some bullshit,
Yeah. What made you think of doing that?
So what made me think of doing that was, here's the craziest thing. Every social experiment or prank I've done or skit, it takes some time to plan. The Heat prank that I did, it took me like 3 weeks to plan. This is the only one that I've done in the history, except for that Tiger King one, that I didn't plan whatsoever. I woke up, I saw a video on Facebook, and the video was like a rich man gave money to a homeless guy to give to other homeless people, something like that. And it inspired me, because I usually do something positive every Christmas. I do something positive every New Year's, and it inspired me. So I started thinking of ways that I can change around how he did it. And within like a minute, I came up with the idea, called my videographer. At that time, she was at like some engagement lunch. I was like, "Nope, she ain't doing it. She's at engagement. It's over." And she's like, "I'll be there in 2 hours." I'm like, "Oh shit." So I ran to Walgreens, got all the stuff. And coincidentally, the guy from Help Me Howard, if you know who that is on the news, was in the line. So I'm getting all this shit. What? And I see him. I was like, "Yo, you're Help Me Howard, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, I'm about to do something that I think is going to make the news." And he looked at me like I was batshit crazy. He's like, "Oh, okay. Have a great day, bro." And he walked out, and then it made the news.
Wow. That's wild, man. So how many, that was on YouTube also?
So here's the thing, like I got in that question, like how many views did it get? It was weird. On YouTube, Inside Edition posted it, and then I posted it. So I didn't get when I say viral, I went viral more on TV and the news.
That's cool.
It went viral across the country, and every news station posted, but it got like separate views. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Fox posted it here, got 100,000. Inside Edition posted it here, got 500,000. Yahoo posted it. You know, it wasn't like one YouTube channel, 100 million views. You know what I mean? It was like spread out everywhere.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So now, did you notice like after that occurred, like your following on like social media spiked?
Everything. My Facebook, especially, because they tagged my Facebook page in it. I wish they tagged my Instagram, but it was okay. But I got floods of messages, tons of followers, and the minute I went viral, it wasn't just about the followers. I was getting messages from people that wanted to manage me. I was getting messages from, people thanking me for the story. I was getting messages, opportunities to speak on podcasts, to go on shows, radio. I was like, what? Like, this is bizarre. What's up, Maria? Maria just said something. She was a part of a bunch of my skits and social experiments already. Maria,
shout out, Maria. Shout out.
Yeah, she's awesome. She was a part of a ton of them.
I got a question from one of the viewers, Mannequin. They want to know. Steve Tyson says, "Is that a mannequin behind him?" Have him tell us about that. I could tell you about that. What this guy did to me.
Yeah. So the reason I have this mannequin initially is because one day I was thinking of a skit that I could do, and the skit was called "My Ex's Trash." So I attached that mannequin to a garbage can. And I kept bringing her around the city to get a tattoo. I took the trash can and that head and hair and arms sticking out of the trash can. I took it to a bowling alley and we shot it. We got kicked out of the bowling alley. And the skit was called My Ex's Trash. So it's been in that trash can upstairs in my miscellaneous room for a while. And then when I did the Tiger King skit, Carol Baskin, I put Carol Baskin's face on it and I used it as a skit. And I just left it there and I did a live. And I just got mad comments on the mannequin, so I just left it for the podcast.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
That was the process.
That's really funny, actually. Before we went live, I'll always, like, whenever I have a guest on the podcast, I will invite them in an hour before. We'll do a test call. We'll test audio. We'll do all that cool stuff just to make sure everything is perfect before we go live. And when I turn the screen on, I just see this fucking. I actually, you know what? I'll be honest with you. At first I didn't think it was a mannequin. I thought it was some chick at your house that was like looking in the mirror, like over the computer screen or something like that, and she was checking herself out. I'm like, is this chick checking herself out? So I'm like, hello, and then all of a sudden I see you move the face. I'm like, oh my god,
Yo,
this guy's.
I was holding that thing up for like two. I was holding it like 2 minutes. I was like, this guy better come in here with this.
Dana says, luckily that mannequin doesn't have hair with that fan going like that.
Oh, I know. I think Dana just gave me an idea for another social experiment. Have the head flinging around, doing something crazy.
Oh, there you go. Done. Ideas are flowing. So I want to ask you too, like, do you think if you do something on TV, obviously, if you do something on TV, you're going to get a huge following, but is there a way to get a large following just by working through social media and not doing anything at all on TV?
Absolutely. So what I've been speaking about around the country when they ask me to speak about going viral, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll speak about going viral. That's cool, you know? So what I've been teaching people, you know, a lot of content creators out there. Everybody's a content creator, whether you do a podcast, whether you do Forex, real estate agent, no matter what you do, you're creating content. It was funny. I was speaking somewhere about it, and I asked everybody in the crowd, like, everyone shoots content, right? And then the one guy I chose was a banker. He's like, no, I shoot no content. I'm like, fuck. I was like, bad time to ask somebody that, or a bad person to pick. But anyway, what I teach people is to drop Easter eggs in your videos to increase video views. And what I mean by Easter eggs are shit like this. A mannequin in the background of your video that you don't say nothing about, and it already has caused about 2 people to comment, correct? Right. So the example that I like to use is this. This is my favorite example because it makes sense in that world. So if you're a real estate agent, for example, right? And you're showing a mansion. You're standing in front of a beautiful mansion, and you want this video to go viral so you can eventually sell the house. Right. And let's say, for example, you're talking, right? You have a stain on your shirt, big ass stain. And you get off camera and you realize when you're watching the playback, oh shit, I have a stain in my shirt. And we got to shoot this over. We got what I would tell people is do not take that stain out your shirt. Do not shoot it over, because what's going to happen is you're going to get 50 extra comments about the damn stain on your shirt, because that's how fucking people on the internet are. They just want to talk shit about negativity. Now, let's keep it going. So you got a stain on your shirt. Now let's say somebody's walking behind you, walking their dog, a neighbor, they accidentally get in your shot, and the dog takes a shit right on the lawn, right behind you. I would leave the stain in the shirt and the dog shitting, even though you think it may not look professional, because you're going to get 50 people talking about the stain. You're going to get 50 people talking about the dog shit. Then they're going to start arguing. Then the people that didn't see the stain are going to bring attention to the dog shit. The people that saw the dog shit are going to bring attention to the stain. That's going to cause 500 extra comments. Now, let's say they're not accident. Let's say they are 100% planted in your video, and you're standing there, you're selling a house. So you add the stain purposely. You add a colorful tie. You add 2 different pairs of sneakers on your feet. You add a ball being thrown in front of your face. You're going to have 100 different people that would never have commented on your video come to your video and comment on it. And you know what happens when people comment on your video on Instagram, Facebook? It boosts you up in the algorithms. It gets you higher up on the feed. It gets more people to view your videos. And in essence, their real estate video will get to the right people after 1 million people saw it because of the stain, the dog shit, the baseball, the fucking crazy ass mannequin. And you're just going to have comment. And that's how you do it. And you also want to caption your videos correctly.
Gotcha. So when you say caption videos correctly, what exactly do you mean?
So what I mean by that is, and this was learned through years of experimenting and just looking at social media. So let's say you have a video and you post it. It's a pic. You know what? Let's just say you have a picture of yourself, random ass picture, and you post pictures of yourself all the time. No one gives a shit. So you post a picture of yourself and you title it.
I hope people give a shit.
Yeah. Chilling in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's your caption. You're going to get about 7 comments from the girls who think you're cute, or if it's a girl, from the guys who think you're hot. Now, if you caption that video, I'm out in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What is everybody else doing today? ? How many more comments are you going to get because you asked the question? You're going to get 50 comments because now people that didn't want to comment before, you're engaging them in your video, and now they're going to be like, oh, nice day in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in LA. Oh, I'm over in New York walking my dog. I'm chilling with my parents today, whatever. And you're just going to get. So you want to change your captions in a way where you're engaging your audience instead of just saying, me, everything's about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's so true what you say, because I have this other platform. It's called Bare Knuckle Freak, and it's all news and bare knuckle fighting. And I love it. But what I've noticed is that the most comments that I get and the most interaction I get is when I ask a question. So it's so true.
Always. Yeah.
I'll always pit like 2 guys up against one another. I'll get a guy from the UFC and I'll get a guy from boxing, and I'll say, who do you think's going to win in a bare knuckle fight? And it's great. I love the comments. Like, they're like, I'll either get, this guy's going to win by knockout. This guy's going to win by murder. This is a stupid question to ask. What moron posted this? I love it.
Right.
It's great.
That's awesome.
But you get so much interaction from it, man. It's so true.
That's sick.
Now, have you gone viral? Did it happen again to you?
Yeah. So a couple times. So, it also kind of depends on your definition on viral. So, when I did the prank at the Heat game, that pretty much went viral, and I'll tell you why. Because so we set up this prank at the Heat game where I was going to get engaged to my girl, and drop the ring, and she was going to walk out on me. But it took me weeks to plan this thing, and I had no connection to the Jumbotron. And then all of a sudden, my videographer David had a connection to the Jumbotron. So I was in a group email with the Heat for like 3 weeks. I felt bad, but I had to lie to them, about the real proposal. So I went to the Heat game. They put me on the Jumbotron. My fucking heart is like, go. Because it's not real. And we have planned this out. What if it goes wrong? I dropped the ring. There was never a ring in the box to begin with. I'm holding the ring. The whole fucking 24,000 people standing go, cheering. And then they're laughing at me because I dropped the ring. And then I start looking for the ring, like, oh my God. And then she walks out, right? And I would say probably 5 minutes after that happened, There you go. I would say about 5 minutes after that happened, somebody on Twitter, somebody that was on Fox News or something like that, tweeted it out. It hit really hard on Twitter, and then Channel 7 picked it up. Channel 7 called me the next day asking me if it was a prank, and then I told them that I was the same guy from the homeless experiment that went viral, and they came and interviewed me at the house. So not only did that do good numbers online, everywhere, but the news came to my house, so it hit the news the next day as well. So that one went viral.
Wow.
Yeah. The views may not be great on that video because my YouTube just sucks. Like I've never like pushed the YouTube, but it hit the TV.
Well, you got on the news, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, look, you've got, I mean, what, over 100,000 followers on your Instagram, and that's, you know, I mean, but you got on the news. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. And I thought it was a great video, man. I mean, I was actually watching it for the first time, and I was like, is this real? Because I was thinking maybe he was, you know, getting engaged and something happened. But then I'm thinking, nah, this is Brian, bro. Something's up. Something's up.
So that was exactly almost a year ago to the day that we did that. And a couple weeks ago, I put it on TikTok, and I only had like 3,000 followers at the time. And on TikTok, which is a platform that just blows up crazy, with 3,000 followers, it hit 1.3 million views and got me 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,000 new followers off that video. And it's a year later. Wow. You know, we shot a year later, it hit 1.3. So, but yeah, it went viral on the news, and it was kind of crazy. And then I put, I think the billboard was after that. And then I put the billboard up. Yeah.
So the billboard, but I haven't seen the billboard. What was that all about?
So the billboard was after that thing, after the social experiment, the homeless social experiment went viral. I was getting a lot of messages from managers that wanted to manage me, right? And, you know, people that I would call shady people or whatever. Yeah. And one of them rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, you know what? It's time to find a manager the Brian Breach way, because if people think I need a manager, hey, I don't want to keep doing this on my own. I want to monetize this. I want to figure out a way to make money finally. Sure. And so I put up a billboard, and it was my face on the Don Bailey body, half naked. And what it said was, I'm looking for a non-shady manager, but I'm becoming a bear. Funny thing is, Christine Curran, who just jumped in the live, she found me off that billboard, and that's how we became friends and partners on the show America's Gone Viral. That's how I ended up on Diny Divas. So I put up the billboard, and that, I'll tell you right now from experience, that billboards work. Let me just tell you that. I got so many new followers off that damn thing. I got so many messages. I got real managers hit me up. I got advertising agencies hit me up. I got so many connections off that damn billboard. Wow. That I can't even tell you. It was up for a month and a week. Then we protested the billboard, and I was getting messages within the first 5 minutes. I got about 7 messages within the first 5 minutes of that billboard going up.
Nice. Now, when you say protested it, what do you mean?
So
what did you do? Is this planned also?
Yeah, you got to find that video is nuts. So I wanted to create buzz around the billboard. I didn't just want to put the billboard up. So I shot 3 pieces of content around the billboard. The first thing was the drone video of the actual billboard. Hey guys, I put up a billboard. Check it out. People thought I was crazy. The second thing was I shot a message to managers. So what it was, I was in a hotel room with 2 fine girls in bathing suits, and I was telling managers, I was like, hey, if you came to my billboard to manage me, I just want to let you know I'm going to be the most easiest client that you've ever had. But while I'm telling them, it's ironic. While I'm telling them I'm easy, I'm doing cocaine. I got 2 beautiful girls feeding me grapes. They're massaging me with fake $100 bills. So I shot that as a messenger to the managers. And then the protesting of the billboard, I wanted to create buzz around it. So I stood out there in the Patrick Patty Patterson outfit. I hired like 8 actors, amazing actors, and they stood there with signs saying, Brian Breach needs to be stopped. Take this billboard down. This shit is crazy. He needs to get out of our city or whatever. And what I said is Patrick Patty Patterson. And the reason I said this is because I had a conversation with an AM radio station that rubbed me the wrong. They pissed me off. I got about 90% positivity on the He Prank, but they said something so like ridiculous to me. They were talking about me on the radio, and everybody's telling me to hit them up, that they'd want to talk to me. And when I did hit them up, they disrespected me. Like they said some shit like, we don't talk to people that just want to go viral. I'm like, well, you're a radio station. Ellen does pranks. Ashton Kutcher does pranks.
Right.
Power 96 used to pull pranks. This is how you get your radio station to blow up, or you're just going to die like every other radio station, AM radio station on the planet, you know? So anyway.
Yeah, they don't even exist anymore. It's crazy, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I protested the billboard to create a buzz. I posted online. Everybody thought it was real, but I'm like, guys, that's me. Nobody even knew it was me protesting the billboard because I was all disguised out. And that caught a little buzz, you know, and it was cool.
That is awesome, man. And see, it's like creative thinking. And I wanted to ask you this too, because obviously, you know, now with the social distancing, the quarantine, the stay-at-home orders, people are working from home. There's some unfortunate people out there that lost their jobs in their home. A lot of people are interacting more so now than ever on social media.
Right.
What could people be doing to take advantage of this time that they have on social media to market themselves? You know, I'm not going to say go viral, right? Can't really say that, but something to help them stand out more, to promote whatever they're trying to do to make money while they're at home and they have this time.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what not to do. Some kid went on an airplane and said he came from Wuhan and made the airplane turn around. Then he tried to capitalize off it. So don't do that. I would do what Christine Curran did. She jumped headfirst into, you know, doing the mask thing and selling bulk masks. I know a lot of people that are at home literally stitching masks, and, you know, not about just making money, but you're helping people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the go-between. So I know people that are literally going to Walmart, buying the elastic, buying the fabric. They're making masks. If you do art, I would use this time to be a better artist. I would use this time to, what I would honestly do, I would use this time, if I was somebody that had a 9-to-5 and they lost their job over this, I would use this time to heavily research on how to make money online, because my business, the social media business I have here, it's in essence recession proof. My business picked up after this whole thing. You know what I mean? Better. So, you know, I'm not saying anything negative about waiters or anyone in an industry where this is hurting. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that in an emergency situation, you want to have several sources of income. And one of those income can be starting an online store, doing surveys online, creating masks. You could sell your artwork. If you shoot viral videos, this should be the time to go hard at it. If you do podcasts, this should be the time to figure out how to go hard at the podcast game. If you've never done a podcast and been wanting to do a podcast, this is when you start. So all the things that you've had in mind that you've been wanting to do, this is the time to do it. I mean, you know, I've binged watched on Ozarks, on Tiger King, and, you know, I've been lackadaisical sometimes as well, but I'm also using this to be creative. I'm thinking outside the box. We're having Zoom meetings, me and my boys. We're trying to think of ways to make money. So there's all sorts of things you could do right now.
I agree with you. Actually, I've been contemplating this for a little bit now, but quite a few people have reached out to me. They've always asked me, you know, about the podcast. You know, how do you do it? What do you use? How do you do this? How do you do that?
By the way. This is different.
Oh, thank you. I take pride in going live, right?
I love it.
A lot of people are afraid to go live. I don't want to say afraid, but there's a lot of work involved. So when you go live, anything can happen. So you got to have a B plan, a C plan, a D plan, because anything can happen. But I like live because it's happening right now. So the people that are watching, this is happening at this moment. So yeah, there's more work involved, but people ask me a lot. They're like, yo, you know, how do you do this whole podcast thing? I got people that are new to podcasts that are asking me. So I'm like thinking, like, you know, maybe I could make extra money off this and do like, you know, like some tutorial videos and teach people how to, you know, podcast, you know, what to do on the back end, what to do on the front end, maybe give some free tips away here and there, engage people a little bit, you know.
100%. That's 100% accurate.
Oh, good. So now I'm going to do it because you said it. Thank you. That's awesome, man. Yeah, you know, I agree with you. I think the memes are great. I want to ask you this too, like, because I deal with a lot of different people because of the podcast. So I get all walks of life from all different kinds of industries. And one of the things people like kind of bring up here and there, I noticed it, is that they always want to increase their following. So like, you know, they like Facebook offers paid sponsorships, paid ads, Instagram too. What do you think of those things? They work?
I think anything these days that's helping you gain a bigger following on each platform, I think they're fine. So when my TED Talk came out, I actually ran not ads, but I ran a boost on my Facebook page, and it got me tons of new viewers on my TED Talk. Tons, not fake views. I mean, legitimate views, comments, people from all around the world commenting on my stuff. So that was experimental. And I ran it before on my music when I dropped my album in 2017. On Instagram, there's all sorts of ways. So the initial way, back in the days when Instagram first came out, it would be I would target the following of famous hip hop artists that I thought had the same kind of fanship as me. So I would sit there 7-8 years ago, follow a ton of them, right? I follow 100 a day, get 20 back. I slowly started getting 500 followers, 600, 700. Then it became automated. So the way I grew my social media business before Instagram locked that down was, you know, it was automation in a sense where I was able to target, say I wanted to grow a real estate page. I would target followers of other real estate pages for them. I'd follow 400 or 500 people a day. They get 80 new followers per day. And then I'd flush out the people that didn't follow them back. Then they'd slowly, exponentially grow a following, but it wouldn't be fake followers. These would be legitimate people following you that were once following another real estate page, and you kind of converted them to your followers. Nowadays, they shut that down. So nowadays you can do so many things. You can run contests. So from morning till night, they run contests where, say, Cardi B or Supreme Patty, whoever is doing a giveaway, and you could jump in the contest, and you could be one of the people that they tell. You could be one of the followers on their page that they tell their followers to follow, and then you start racking up a lot of followers. I've done contests before. There's something called Mass Story Viewer, where it can appear that your Instagram is checking out stories from like 50,000 people a day. So it'll say Brian Breach viewed your story. And when somebody with 300 followers is looking to see who viewed their story, and they're like, oh shit, who the fuck, Brian Breach viewed my story? Then they'll shoot over to my page and give me a follow. So that's a little technique to do it as well. You could go to the Explore page and you could start liking anything with a hashtag that you think is legitimate or legitimately applies to your page. So if you're a real estate agent, you could type in the word real estate, or Miami real estate if you're from Miami, and you could sit there for an hour liking pictures, and they're going to be like, wait a second, who's this real estate agent liking my page when I'm just about to buy a house? What a coincidence. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to go jump on your page, like 8 of your pictures, and then follow you. So you got to, if you're in the social media realm and you want to grow your following, you have to keep up to date on all these new techniques and all these new things even on TikTok. I just read yesterday on Hypebeast Tech that there's going to be a new fucking platform coming out called Shorts, which is going to be the new TikTok. I don't know if it's going to blow up or not, but I heard it. So what do you think I'm going to do? I didn't want to. I used to be hesitant to jump on Instagram and new platforms. Now I want to be the first on there so I can get verified and I can be number one and spread my wings across every social media platform. So there's all sorts of things that you could do to grow your following these days, and you have to keep your hands in the pot. I don't care what field you're in. I don't care if you run a funeral home. Get your ass on social media.
So true. I mean, look, this is how you reach people. I mean, especially now with everything going on, social media is how you reach people, especially now with everything going on. But that's an interesting technique. You know, I'm gonna actually use some of these tools that these little golden nuggets that you're dropping off here. I appreciate that.
I think it helps.
Yeah, man. Of course. So, what is it you're doing right now? Because we, you know, as a country, we really don't know when this whole pandemic is going to come to an end. We don't really know much. We're kind of day by day right now. But in the interim, what are you doing with yourself and your business to, you know, prepare yourself for when everything kind of gets back to normal?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy because right before this thing hit, I literally had 5 things lined up. Like I have 5 opportunities lined up, right? Like, the main thing, me and Christine Curran, we were working on the show, America's Gone Viral. And we thought we had a deal on the table, but it kind of got pushed back from some specific things that the guy was dealing with and the pandemic. So I stopped taking on business with my social media business because I'm already doing good. I didn't want to expand because I have other goals and dreams in life, you know? And so America's Gone Viral is, in my opinion, the first viral competition show for up and coming content creators, and we were going to work on that heavily. So once everything gets back into place, I'm going to go hard at that. In the meantime, I've literally been reaching out to people on social media on a consistent basis. People reaching out to me, just getting opportunities. I've done a ton of podcasts, including your awesome podcast. So I'm growing my name that way. I just got offered a magazine feature, Mr. Hollywood magazine, that's going to be on the cover of the July issue. So what I'm doing is just still spreading the awareness of Brian Breach, and still pushing my social media, pushing my following. I'm about to get verified on TikTok within the week or so, which I've been told, or I got the email from them. So I'm still, as this is going on, I'm going to just continuously spread my name on social media, and I got my social media business, so I'm set over here, But I'm going to keep spreading the word because this is going to be over soon enough. No pandemic lasts forever. No fucked up situation in life lasts forever. This is going to be over, and we're all going to get back to normal, and we got to hustle. We got to go hard.
Yeah, you do, man. I agree. This is you here on TED. How did you get involved with TED? Did they reach out to you, or how did that all go down?
What an incredible story.
That's a funny picture.
Yeah, that I got people cracking up with that one. So the story, the quick story behind the TED is I like to call it two girls and one table. I thought it was two girls and one couch, but I made a mistake, and it wasn't a couch in the story, it was a table. So long story short, I hate moving, but one of my best friends asked me to help him move one day, and I was helping him move, and in the middle of helping him move, after a couple hours, he goes, "Yo, can you drive all the way to Cooper City from fucking Sample Road to wherever we were to go help me pick up a table at my brother's house?" And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And the reason I tell this story first is because life is such an amazing thing. You don't know which direction your life is heading. Mm-hmm. You just have to jump in things, and the trajectory of your life can change at any moment. You have to look at opportunity and everything. So had this whole story not taken place, had I not helped my boy move, had I not go picked up a fucking table in Cooper City, I would never have had a TED Talk. So I go all the way to Cooper City. We're picking up this table, and I get to the house, and there's a cute girl at the house. That's the true story. This all happened because of two girls. So there was a cute girl at the house.
So good way a story starts, though.
Yeah. And they told me, they're like, "Yo, you guys got to come back. We're having a party later. You got to come back." I'm like, "Yo, I don't think I'm going to have time. I got dirt on my face. I'm disgusting. And I'm the type of person, I can't walk in a party looking like shit. You know what I mean? I got to feel nice. You know what I mean?" So I go all the way back to his thing. They're calling us saying, "Yo, come back. I didn't have time to go home and change. I remember getting back to the house hours later, and there was 3 cars before, and now there was like 40 cars. And I'm like, shit, should I even go inside? So I go in there to see this cute girl. Guess what? The girl left. She's not even there anymore. But there was another girl there. The other girl there was a girl that used to date my boy. So we start talking outside, and she looks at me. She's like, "Hey, I know you're doing a lot on social media. They're doing a TED Talk at my hospital. I think you should submit for it." Had all that not happened, I would never have been told about a TED Talk. I went home that night or the next day. I haven't done a resume in a decade, more than a decade. I went on Fiverr.com, had them make my resume. I haven't done a PowerPoint in 20 fucking years. I went on YouTube and learned how to do PowerPoint again. I submitted my PowerPoint, submitted my shit, and then I got chosen for the TED Talk out of 62 people. And then I got to do the TED Talk. It was the most amazing experience. We had to practice each week for 7 weeks. And then the year after, which was this past year, I got asked to be a judge on a new TED Talk because they said my TED Talk was a success. So it was such an amazing experience. Man. And these people are like my family now. Like, we meet up still every couple months to link and talk business. And they're such amazing people. So it was one of the best experiences of my life.
It's amazing, man. And how many people at that TED Talk that were watching you?
There had to be somewhere between 200 to 300.
Nice. And that's great, man. I think, especially the story that you told, I like how you did that. I like how you let people in to understand who you were and where you came from, and not just some guy up there bullshitting how to be successful. There was a story, a true, real story to that. And I love that.
Right. Thank you, man. It was crazy talking about some of that stuff in front of such a large, in front of a lot of people, knowing it was going to go on the TED site. A lot of people know that side of me, but not that much. And now everyone seems to know the story, but I'm okay with that. I want people to learn from my hustle and my struggles and my past horrible experiences.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Like, things happen to us in life, right? We make mistakes, bad shit happens, whatever the case may be. And we find ourselves in these situations where sometimes we don't want to really let a lot of people know that these things happen in our lives. It's embarrassing or you just don't feel good about it. But the best thing you could do is talk about it. And the best thing you could do, I think, in my opinion, is learn from it and then turn it into some sort of success for yourself, Because I think you have to have these things happen to you. I think people they're so afraid of like negative things to happen to them, bad situations that somehow they find themselves in, that they don't realize like, hey, the only way you're going to make it through that struggle is to go through the struggle. These things are blessings, man. These are dirty, ugly, dark blessings. You could find that little pearl in the oyster, man. It's just, it's just how you look at it, and how you get yourself out of it, man. So when I heard your story on TED, I was like, oh, I could just, I just totally resonate with what you were saying, man. I resonated so well with that. So that's what made me super interested in having you on the podcast, man. When I saw your TED, because I'm like, so for anybody that's watching right now, check out that TED that I just pulled up, that video clip, Brian Breach on YouTube. Check out that TED talk, 15 minutes, right? I mean, it was just, it was great.
Quick. Right. Yeah. And a couple of things about that. When you've been through so much negative in this life, you don't have a choice other than to be positive. You have to use those negative experiences to propel you forward. Like in the movie Rocky, when he talks about, how hard you hit. Life is about how hard you hit and keep moving forward. And on the side of the TED Talk, I didn't know if I could stay. I've been on stage rapping before and stuff like that, but I didn't even know if I could do such a thing. I didn't know if I could remember 13 minutes of verbatim speech. I was so petrified doing that shit that my voice was shaking and you barely can hear it. And but what I learned, and what I believe that you create yourself, but you also learn a little bit about yourself. I learned that I can accomplish anything, and what I like to tell people is that whatever situation you're cast in, don't turn down any kind of opportunity if you don't think you could do it. I know so many people that turn down major opportunities because they don't think they could do it. Fuck that. Go do it, and then or take the opportunity and then figure out if you could do it later. Do it. Yeah. I had a friend of mine. It was such amazing. He took a job creating a website for one of the biggest shoe stores in Miami, and he had no idea what he was doing, but they were offering him a lot of money, and it was a huge opportunity. You know what he did? He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I was like, you realize they make millions of dollars a year, right? He's like, I'll figure it the fuck out. What am I going to say no? And I'm like, guess what? He's working there for like 3 fucking years already, and they love his ass because he figured it out. That's what you got to do in this life, bro. If somebody offers you an opportunity, figure it out. I was scared to stand on stage in front of that many people, talk for 13 minutes. I had no saliva in my throat. I thought I was going to pass out on the stage. But when I came out on the other side, it's gotten me more opportunities, with the exception of the viral thing, than almost anything that I've ever done in my life.
It's amazing, man. I think that, it's interesting because before we were talking about posts, and we're talking about the dog shit and the stain and the negative comments, right? People love the negativity, man. They're so more quick to respond to something negative, including myself. I see, like, I'm a big time animal lover, and I hate when people post stuff about animals being hurt. I don't like it. I just don't like it, and I end up unfollowing people because of it. I just don't want to see it. It's out there, and I get it. They want to make people aware of what's going on, but to be honest with you, you could write about it. You don't need to be posting no graphic stuff about animals getting hurt. I don't like that. That's how I feel about it, right? So anyway, but I'm quick to be like get nasty. I'll get nasty with people about it because I just don't like it. Whereas if I see, somebody, in a picture with their kids, and then there you go. and it should be the other way around, but it's not. And but the one great thing about positivity, and I could just speak from my own experience when I watched your TED, was that it was all positive, and it meant something to me. I was like, wow. I was like, that hit home for me. So boom, there you go. You get also a positive reaction from people too. Right. It's just, that particular platform definitely helps, but the story was there.
Yeah, 100%. And with social media, you have to use the negativity to propel you forward, right? You have to use the negativity to propel you forward. And what I learned by studying all these viral videos and studying fucking social media is that when you get enough negative, what I learned is that positive comes to the rescue. And what I mean by that is this. I'll give you a good example. Do you remember when Britney Spears, I don't want to say crazy because that's just I didn't understand.
She shaved her head and went nuts.
Yeah, okay. So you remember when Britney Spears shaved her head, right? This is the example I like to use. So the media, people were fucking attacking this woman mercilessly.
Yeah,
I was almost surprised she didn't commit suicide. And I know it sounds fucked up, but like they were going in on her and I felt bad, right? Now, what happened was they were going in on this girl so hard that eventually the positive, and this happens on every negative video, the positive started saving her. If you remember that one guy, he's like, leave Britney alone.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes, that went viral. That was crazy.
That went viral. And then all you saw after that, after 3 weeks of her getting bashed, and every cover, US, the cover of Us Weekly, Britney's crazy, Britney's a bitch, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, you see the shift, and it happens in every negative video. The shift was hundreds of thousands of people started flooding to Britney's defense. Leave her the fuck alone. She's going through shit. Then she got on the cover of Us Weekly for a positive story. Then she got on the cover of this for a positive story. And all of a sudden, her career turned around and took off because she went crazy. People got so negative and nasty. And then the positive came to the rescue. So you cannot be afraid to embrace the negativity. When I started shooting these viral videos, I told myself, Brian, they're going to talk shit about you. You're going to get mad shit. And they did. On my first video, the Cardi B mating call, the dumbest video that I've ever shot in my life, I was attacked mercilessly because at the end I was dancing, being silly. And they're like, look at these two fucking white people that can't dance. I'm like, number one, the girl in the video is Spanish. She's not white, number one. And I couldn't go in on everybody. But you know what happened with that video? It got 178,000 views. It was my first video and it was shit. So my thought process was, if my first video, the worst shit that I've ever done, can get 178,000 views, imagine when I make a good one. And that's the positive spin that I had on in my head. Yeah. And then I propelled through and it just went viral. The next one, viral, you know what I mean? And it just kept hitting. So you got to use that negativity and you got to use it to propel you forward like a steam-powered train. Yeah,
it's so true, man. It really is. I always look forward to like they say, you can't fight back till you get knocked down. You know what I'm saying? So like, I look forward to the knockdowns because I like to challenge myself, but like, get back to what you were saying about Britney Spears, because like, a lot of and this tails in with negativity because, when you get a celebrity, somebody that's in the light, constantly, and they're going through some private shit, it's just not fair because, you say to yourself, and, when you say not fair, it sounds childish, but it's true because like, if I'm a regular guy, right? I'm not a celebrity. And if I'm going through a rough time in my life, and something's going on and I'm not looking my best that day and I'm out in public, well, I don't got nothing to, nobody cares, I'm doing me. But I could all of a sudden be in the same exact situation, but a celebrity, and now all of a sudden I'm on the cover of this magazine in a negative light, that and this and that. Nobody cares about what you're going through. They just care about the stuff that they put out there. So they hope that people buy their magazines or get the clicks and get the likes and all that. Right. I'll never play dirty. That's one thing I promised myself. I'll never play dirty with any guests that I have on my podcast. I'll always treat people with respect, always like family, always across the board. Like I've had guests on my podcast where I could have took some cheap shots to get more likes and views. I said this and clip it together and make it. I will never do that to anybody, man. That's just not how I roll. Right. I just wouldn't do it, and I see other podcasters that do it, and I'm just you know what? You burn a bridge, man. They ain't going to talk to people and tell people about you. They're going to say you're a piece of shit. I wouldn't do that to people. I wouldn't do it.
No, 100%. You got to figure out the right way to do it. Cause some people do, I try to skate the line a little bit, but I don't want to go overboard. I don't want to be that guy who's turning around an airplane because I'm coughing, pretending I'm from Wuhan. I'm not going to be that guy. I've already went far with it. I've already done crazy shit where I got negative attention because of the heat prank. And they're like, oh, it was so fucked up that you didn't inform the Heat. I was like, first of all, it was like a dedication to Wade. Second of all, they do proposals every week You know what I mean? Like I didn't hurt anyone. Nobody was in on it. All I did was drop a ring in 20 seconds and walk out. Nobody was implicated. So calm down. You know, so I'll skate the line a little bit, but I agree. You know, you don't want to go too far, but it's crazy how the negativity propels you up. And in my personal life, I get like a renewable source of energy from negativity. It's crazy. If somebody tells me, yo, Brian, I don't think you could do it, bro. Like, I think you're going to fucking fall flat on your face doing all these skits. It literally makes me sharpen up immediately. It gives me a rush inside my body and my brain. I sharpen the fuck up. I start thinking. My creativity starts moving. And anytime a girl has done me wrong, a family member has shit on me, somebody who's disrespecting me or treating me like my time's not valuable, it literally moves me, bro. Like physically moves me out of my seat to go do better.
Good for you, man. I'm with you on it, man. I think me and you could talk for hours, bro. Because
absolutely.
I
can't even believe we've been talking for 50 minutes.
That's crazy, man. It goes quick, bro. This podcast always goes fast, man. It's amazing. I will tell you though, I agree with you 100% about that. You know, I feel the same way. Like I was told from people very close to me, your podcast is stupid and I don't know why you do it.
Why did you say that?
I'm telling you, I would get it. Like, why do you do? You know, because I do it because I want to do it. Because I could be dead tomorrow. Why am I going to waste my time trying to please other people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here to do me.
Shit. Yeah, I'm not doing nothing. That's why they're annoyed with you doing it, because they don't have the initiative and the balls to figure out a podcast for themselves.
True. Yeah, it could be multitude of reasons, but
multiple reasons. But people are jealous underlying that we don't see sometimes, you know.
Yeah, man, I just forge forward, you know, and I enjoy the hell out of this thing, and you know, it's people like you that inspire me, man. You know, that's why I like to have. Yeah, it's true, man. That's why I like to have people like yourself on. When I say people like yourself, I mean positive people, successful people that are driven. Because
you inspire me as well.
Thank you, brother. You know, and it's about that energy, you know, like I want to feed off what you're giving to me, because it's going to make me better at what I'm doing, you know, and I hope to do the same for you. But, and of course for the viewers, you know, that are watching and being a part of it, man, it's all a circle, bro. You know, it's gotta go around, and it's gotta be positive, man. So yeah, bro. But I want to thank you, brother. I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on, bro. What do you got?
I'm in quarantine, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what else are we going to do, bro? We're going to podcast up, man. But what do you got, Brian? What do you have coming up, you know, after all this is done? Is there anything in the pipeline that you're just kind of waiting out until everything gets back to normal?
Yeah. So I did some like fashion photo shoot with Superior Designs like a couple months back. And the magazine release party, I was supposed to be in 3 different magazines with the photos. And the release party had just passed, but obviously couldn't take place because of the quarantine. So I was supposed to be in this freaking magazine. Now I guess it's postponed. I'm supposed to do some celebrity softball tournament where what's his name, Deontay Wilder is supposed to be on my team. I was blown away that they even asked me for that. Like, wait, he just fought and you want me to be on his team?
I would love to be on this guy's team. Holy shit, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then the Mr. Hollywood magazine, and then I was supposed to speak at Miami Digital Social with the creator of Jersey Champs April 2nd, which just passed. That got canceled. Jersey Champs, he created like a multi-million-dollar business selling jerseys. And then if I look at my whiteboard upstairs, I think there's a couple more. I was supposed to be on 99 Jams. That's not happening because of the quarantine right now. So couple things, you know, I'm just going to keep wading through the waters until this thing is over. Yeah,
I'm with you, man. You know, it's podcast on the quarantine. That's what's on the list right now.
I'm so glad we can still do podcasts, bro.
It's the podcast is you want to, you know, we talked earlier, social media is recession proof. This kind of intertwines with that, you know. It's the podcasting does not stop, man. As a matter of fact, I have gotten hundreds of more DMs in the last 2 weeks for people that want to be on the podcast, man, because people are home. And I'm talking about people that I've been trying to get on for a while. They're like, hey, remember me? You know, like, yeah, you know, of course I remember you. Let's do it, man. How could the viewers follow you and learn more about you and all these cool videos that you do and all the inspirational stuff that you do?
Yeah, my number one platform I would like them to follow me is MySpace, guys. So no, I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Save Britney. Save Britney. Leave her alone. That was on MySpace, right? That video?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think that's where I may have first seen it. Chris Crocker, that's his name.
Chris Crocker. That's right.
Yeah, I can't believe I remember that. Jesus,
That's crazy.
He went so viral that I remember his name a decade later. Main platform is always Instagram Brian Breach, Twitter Brian_Breach, YouTube Brian Breach 03, TikTok Brian Breach, Facebook Brian Breach 03.
Sweet, man. Sweet. Well, Brian, I want to thank you for spending the last 55 minutes with me on the podcast and telling your story and giving out these really cool golden nuggets of information to, help people, while they're down and out or while they have extra time on their hands during this time to do something positive with it. So I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for having me, man. Truly appreciate it. Had a blast.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, let's stay in touch, and when everything settles and we can get back to a normal life, let's collab, bro. Let's do something.
Yeah, let's do something crazy.
I'm down, bro. I got to do something crazy, man.
Yeah. I'll bring my girl.
Yeah, bring it. If she's got a friend too,
Yo, that looks like Brittany when she shaved her head. Actually,
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Wait, zoom. Bring it in. Show everybody the head so they could see it. This is what I was looking at before.
I was like this.
So, which was funny was that because the screen was dark when you're in like standby, and that's what I saw, and I'm like, oh, he's got some girl over. She must be checking herself out or something. Let me get in there and tell her. I was like, hey, excuse me, and then you pulled it away. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this guy.
This girl gets great head, by the way.
Like Al Snow.
That was a bad head joke. I don't mean to offend anyone.
Oh man, you're the man, brother. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy your week, and let's stay in touch.
Appreciate you, bro.
You got it, man. Take care.
Take care.
So that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Brian Breach on a Guy Think Podcast live experience. What a great guy. You got to check him out at Brian Breach on Instagram. Like he said, you can check him out on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter. He's got some really, really cool videos, so you guys should definitely check it out. I like this guy a lot. He's a cool dude. We actually met at Celebrity Boxing, and I thought he was just a really great guy, man. And he's got a lot of good things to say. Check out that TED Talk because you want to get some inspiration, hear a real story. It's 15 minutes, so while you're either on the couch eating Cheetos or you're on your workout bike in the living room, check it out because it's really cool. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in on Monday night's episode of A Guy Think Podcast Live Experience. Do me a favor, as always, follow at A Guy Think Podcast, subscribe to the channel, and check out the website, aguythinkpodcast.com. It was guythinkpodcast.com, but I got it back. I got back at aguythinkpodcast.com. Had to do some stealth work, but we got it figured out. Other than that, I got a show coming up for my fight fans out there, MMA Uncensored Podcast. Our reach right now is over 2 million combat sport fans and counting. It's amazing. We got some huge guests coming up. Wednesday night is Dr. Bo Hightower. Check him out. He's got 800,000 followers, subscribers on YouTube. He's a chiropractor for all the UFC fighters, John Jones included, and other athletes. He serves as a ringside doctor for the UFC when they're in New Mexico because he's on the board over there with the Athletic Commission. So it's pretty cool. Also, Kiera Malore will be our 9 p.m. guest. She's also known as Eco Bikini Girl. She cleans the beaches in South Florida in a bikini, and she's got a crew of women that help her with it. And it's very interesting and very cool. So I think you guys and girls will like it very much. So thank you very much for joining the podcast tonight. Hopefully I helped out some businesses tonight by scrolling their business information across the screen. I'll be happy to continue to do so during this quarantine to help give back. So on that note, guys, have a great Monday night. And I don't know, make a quarantini or something. Relax. It's time to chill out. Don't put the news on. Wait till tomorrow morning. Take care, guys. Thanks.